Right. Yeah, I've been doing a little of the. Remember how at one time um, at your house one day there was an exercise you said offer the sensations to the space, or
Mhm.
and I've been doing more of that lately. When I have some uncomfortable sensation, say that I used to label as
Mhm.
anxiety or something,
Yes, yes.
I've been trying kind of intuitively trying to offer that to the space,
Mhm. Mhm.
and without really trying to change it too much, just trying to
Yes.
be that space per se.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that seems to be a very good little practice.
Okay. One moment, Lee.
No
Um,
problem.
if people can just mute their mics, please take a minute and mute your mic, because if you don't mute your mic, there is too much of an echo. Please mute your mic. Okay, who is it? Maybe Gonzalo. Reina, can you mute your mic?
I think it should be muted.
Yeah, if you go up to the top of your screen, there is a mic.
It's got line through it.
Okay, if you can just try to mute it, because this way there is no echo. Okay, so yes. Oh, right, exactly. You go up, you're right, you go up to your mic and you have to click it. Although there is a line on it, you click it and it turns red. Correct. Thanks, Ananda. Hola, Gonzalo. Yes, Lee, this exercise, about surrendering the sensation to the space doesn't just apply to unpleasant sensations. Um, First, it's important for me to share that the space is already it's there. It's not a space in the physical sense of space. It's a space in in that the reality of consciousness, one of the aspects of the reality of consciousness, or one of the aspects of consciousness, is a borderless, uh, limitless, edgeless quality. So, in a way, already there are no borders. It's not that there is you and the space. It's all space. So the invitation to surrender the sensation to the space is the invitation more like to notice the space that's already borderless, that's already there. So in a way, it's a sort of relaxation. It's a
Uh-huh.
rela- it's a relaxation of the contraction, sort of allowing it to express itself, allowing it to move, or if it doesn't move, to just sort of be there, allowing it to sort of be free, free
Uh-huh.
from any attempt to change it, from any attempt to guide it, from any attempt to to control it. It's just a relaxation into what is appearing. And this sort of this sort of um, surrendering the sensation to the space, you can apply it to any sensation. You can sort of sit with just the sensation of your feet. You can just turn your attention to the sensation of your feet on the ground. It's neither pleasant nor unpleasant. And you sort of go to that sensation, and you notice that that sensation already has no form, no shape, no borders. And you sort of go with that. You, you just sort of you go to that sensation, and you notice the borderless quality of the sensation. Now, when there is a contraction,
Yeah, you know, I just his
So when there is a contraction, okay, when there's a contraction, there is a tendency that is on deck to control, to change, to alter, to resist, to fight, to. So that's what a contraction is. Basically, a contraction is a habitual movement.
Ah. The contraction's not the sensation. The contraction is the reaction to the sensation.
It's a package deal. It's both.
Right.
It's both the the psychological mental resistance, which basically is sort of an inherited habit, and of course the physiological quality of that, the sensation quality of that resistance, of that contraction. So in terms of the relaxation, the relaxation in a way has two aspects. One aspect is at the conceptual level, to understand that conceptually there is a me quality that sort of got on board, that's saying, no, I don't want that, and stomping its feet, or I want things to be different. Sort of noticing that there is a me, a habitual resisting self that is on board, that is arguing with something, and that argumentation is unhappy and unnecessary, and does not take you anywhere that is happy. It doesn't take you to any beautiful place. It doesn't take you where you want to go.
Right.
Basically, you want to be happy.
Right.
So, but that's still sort of at the mental level. But it's an important observation, because it helps you to understand what is going on. It helps you to understand that, in a way, you are opting, you are choosing, you are saying yes to the me. You are saying yes to the boy that wants to throw the tantrum. And given that you already understand that the me, the resistance, the argumentation doesn't lead you to happiness, you simply say, no, I'm not going to buy these goods. I am not going to follow that direction. Yes?
Yes.
Now that's at the conceptual level.
Right.
But still what remains is that you're feeling, in your body, some sort of unhappiness in your body. There is a sensation in your body. Now that sensation in your body, there is a way of perceiving the sensation in a completely neutral way, which in a way it takes a little inquiry, a little exercise, a little experimentation with the sensation, to arrive to perceive the sensation in a neutral fashion. So what's really important is that you be still in your body. You don't rush in to save the sensation. You don't rush in to fix the sensation. You have to, in a way, accept that this sensation is there, because it is. It's there, right?
Yep.
I mean, so it doesn't take much ingenuity to realize that it's already there. So, okay, so that's accepted. So that's an important acceptance, because once you realize it's there, then the next thing is, okay, fine, so it's there, now what do we do with it? And it's very clear that as you contract around the contraction increases. But as you relax around it, it releases.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So then you come and you say, okay, well, I'm going to relax around this contraction. I'm going to relax around this contraction. But when you come to relax around the contraction, you are bringing with you an intention, a personal intention.
Yes.
And that personal intention is not relaxed.
Right.
You follow? Like,
Perfectly.
yes.
It's the me on board that wants to get rid of the contraction.
Right, exactly. So it's very good to understand all of that, because then you realize that, oh, goodness, even if I try to relax my contraction with my intention, I'm just maintaining a contraction, which is a personal ambition.
Exactly. Yes,
Right.
I understand that.
So this is why it's very important to realize, and that's something that you can notice, that the relaxation is already there.
Okay.
Once you sit still, you will notice, like right now, for example, just being where you are, you can notice that there is this perception, whatever perception it is, that is arising in your space, is arising in a borderless open space.
Right. Yes. I mean, the more and more I, do this exercise without too much intention behind it, the more and more I kind of subtly notice that space you're speaking of. I mean, it's not, I fall back into it sometimes and contract, but I know exactly what you're saying here, because if I have too much intention of getting rid of it, it's not the same thing.
No.
But sometimes it seems to, I can just sense it, and other times, and it seems to grow a little bit. And I know exactly what you're saying, so yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah. What's helpfully is in the morning, as you are awaking in bed, and also as you are going to sleep, the world body mind is dissolving in the space. Right? So when you go to bed, the body slowly dissolves, gets more and more transparent, thins out. The mind, meaning the thoughts, maybe there is some activity, but then they start to sort of, float away, and you find yourself in the dream state. So at these moments, and also upon when you're waking up, you're in that, it's just nothing on board, and then somehow a little light of the day sort of starts to arise, or a sensation of the bed or the sheets or the blanket, starts to arise, a sensation of maybe your belly, or some thoughts start to rise very, very vaguely. They start to rise. They're thin, and they start thinly. At these two moments of the day are moments where the presence, the space, the unstirred space is more easily accessible.
Right.
And these are times of the day where you can become familiar with the space, which actually is eternal. It's not that it is more present during the waking state and during when you're waking up in the morning or when you are going to sleep. That's not the case. It's just that it is more noticed because the mind is quieter. The mind is dissolving, in the evening, and in the morning it hasn't yet fully arisen yet.
Exactly.
So these are moments when you can become familiar with the relaxation and the infinity and the magnificence of consciousness and the universality of it. So during these moments, take your time and turn your attention. Figure it out your own way. You will find your way of not just looking at what's arising at these times, what's arising on the screen or what's dissolving from the screen, but notice the screen itself. Sort of fall back behind what's arising and notice the stillness that's coming in as you're going to sleep at night, and that is that is sort of as if it's receding when you are waking up in the morning.
Yeah, so we'll do that. And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome. In time, you will find that whatever seeming activity is occurring, the stillness and the infinity of consciousness is unperturbed, untouched.
Yeah. I think, I'm getting glimpses of that just throughout the day, just,
Which is the peace.
Yeah, just a little bit. And so that shows me what you're talking about. And then just, whatever we're doing here, we'll just grow that or increase it. Yeah.
Yes. It's you can conduct your own experiments with
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome. Yes. Yes, Ananda. Yes. Okay. Did I say it right? Ananda? Ananda? Yes. Okay. Okay. There was a little blimp in the sound. Oh yes, correct. Okay, yes, nice. Oh yes. Okay, beautiful. I go back and forth. Mhm, 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 mhm. Yes, yes. Let me address that last thing you said first, Ananda. Um, when you are when you are composing, when you are writing something, when you're expressing something, and it's really important that you be really in touch with where it's arising from. So if it's arising from the openness, from the infinite, from the boundless, from the vastness, from the heart, from the love, from the joy, if it's arising from that quality, it's effortlessly very beautiful, no matter what is being said. It is imbued with the source. You see, it doesn't necessarily have to be very well in rhyme, or the words have to be um, uh, sort of very fancy. There is that quality. Of course, out of your interest and out of uh, your sense of artistry, you might find yourself drawn to explore what would be the more the words that are more expressive, that can express with more clarity and with more perfume what you are trying to say. That's very beautiful too. It's like a violinist that is playing the violin out of their love for music and for the instrument and for sharing and for creating, still is exploring what would be the how can it be refined to sort of. Yes, right, absolutely, absolutely. So yes, so that's and that you can only answer that for yourself by looking uh, at what the source is within yourself. Now, if the source, or when the source is, when the expression that you are sharing is coming from the higher self, from the love, from the beauty, it feels good. It feels good all around. There are no questions. There might be some technical questions of how to put it and so on, but there are no no other questions that have any. There are no psychological questions. It's more sort of maybe some practical questions, but and it's there is a beauty in expressing it, and it's received. It is heard by whoever hears it. It touches that same place from which it came, even though it might not be recognized. Sometimes there are seeds that are planted and you're not even aware. You read something and you say, oh, that's nice, but you go on, and then later on it sort of strikes you, you see. So that's addressing the second part of your question. Yes. 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 No, it's very, like if you are a diver, and you get up and you do a very beautiful dive in front of people, and yeah, it feels wonderful, and yeah, I as the self, as consciousness, I'm going, yes, this is beautiful. This is just such play, such beauty. It's like a beautiful basketball shots that those basketball players do from 20 meters. I just shoot one because it's so beautiful. So, I yeah. So I would sort of notice that I'm hearing some sort of echo, but it's okay. It's not this happiness that we feel when we are creating isn't necessarily personal, doesn't relate to the person, because our nature is happiness. Now, on the other hand, it's a good thing to sort of be watching habits, patterns, that's just because there is a tendency to get into habits, and somehow a subtle sense of me can appropriate a certain image about ourselves, and that's unnecessary, that's extra, and I think that it's something that you need to sort of explore. If that's happening, you can, because you could take a time off. You could say, well, okay, well, what if I don't write this? You write a beautiful poem and you put it in your own folder. You don't we can experiment with that and see, what stirs up for you. I'm only saying that just because you're raising these questions. If you weren't raising these questions, then just, just you go right with it. Just go with the flow. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, in fact, there is no within and without. It's all it's all it's all this openness. It's all openness. There is no line anywhere that divides the within from the without. So, but at the same time, if you get a calling to be quiet, if you get a calling to sort of be, uh, if you can please mute your mic, please. Yeah, yeah. Please shut you. Please. Yeah, yeah. If you can please mute your mics. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, just mute your mics. Hello, Dolores. Yes. Um, so if you are drawn to be still and to be quiet, there is a calling for you to do so, then of course you respect that. But there are no rules about it. It's not like if you are looking within, you'll be more enlightened than if you're looking out in the world. Actually, I've been in, I've been all my life, how do you say, a worldly person, in jobs and working and wife and children and all of that. Yes, I've been, um, but of course, like there are times where you find yourself contemplating. You're looking at, okay, what what is this me quality? What is it? What is it made of? What are the consequences of it? How does it feel? What's the quality of it? This comes naturally to you. These questions come naturally to you. But if you set up some sort of um, rule or policy about how to how to be looking within versus being on Facebook and exploring with people, whatever you feel like exploring, in a way you are also setting up a personal self, a sense of me that is trying to follow a higher spiritual way. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Um, you know, follow what you love to do. If you love to write, poetry or explore, some questions in groups, in Facebook groups, or with friends, or like being here together in this gathering, just follow it. It feels happy. It's good. Let me see. How can I? Hello, Anata. Uh, so, but when you're following like some sort of rules about how to be in order to get more enlightened, in order to get more loved, in order to get more a better position, all of that only leads to unhappiness, because it's assuming that you are a personal self. It's assuming that you as consciousness is this person. And that assumption is an unhappy assumption. My screen just went blank. Let me see. Yeah, I know. I have a little message on my screen saying a problem occurred with this web page, so it was reloaded. I don't see you. Do you see me? Okay. 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 I lost the video. I have a blank screen in front of me, but I hear you. Okay, the screen I think is coming back. Technology. Okay, I think. Let me see. I'm waiting for. Okay, I'm just seeing it. Okay, okay, I'm just looking at a black screen. It's okay. It will sort itself out, I hope. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Rain is here.
Okay, I think I'm back. uh, can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. Somehow the screen went blank. Then I lost the audio, and now we're back, and there is some weird sound in the background.
I hear a chipmunk or something.
Yeah, chipmunks, right? And I don't know how to shut the chipmunks. Let me see. Okay. 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 What I did is I muted everybody's mic. So if you want to talk, you'll have to unmute yourself, or just raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Okay. Yes. Good. I hear you too, Michael. Excuse me, Ananda. Okay. Okay. Now it's basically saying that you follow your happiness. Follow don't follow so much your mind. Follow your heart. If you feel happy about something, don't question yourself. It's just do it. Out of the happiness. Because there is a difference between happiness and desire. It's different. At some point, you recognize the what's coming from your heart. There is an excitement about it, and you're not trying to get anywhere. You see, that's in happiness. We're not trying to get anywhere. We're not trying to reach any objective. We're just celebrating. It's a celebration. It's like being here right now is so beautiful. It's a celebration. It's just lovely. It's just love across the board. Nobody's trying to impress anybody or teach anybody. We're being here as friends, speaking, exploring, being real. So there is this quality of freedom and joy and happiness, and it's loving everything and everybody. Just follow that. I mean, that's beautiful. And the more you find yourself in that place, it's like, it's not measuring, it's not calculating, it's not oh God, will I be more enlightened this way or that? And forget it. Just you're following the love, and so there is freedom in that. Freedom is the number one quality of consciousness is freedom. It has no borders, no edges. It embraces everything. It's not contained. You say it's not contained. So the impression that I'm a person that needs to improve in time and space, that's the illusion. That's the illusion, and that's the unhappiness. That's what keeps us sort of, bottled up, and unhappy. That we're contained and that we need to get somewhere. We need to get out of the container. There is no container. There is no container. It's an open field of love, beauty, joy, celebration, and happiness. It's already there, full on, and it's just waiting for us to say, yeah, I recognize it. I recognize it, and I'm open to it. I'm game. I'm open to it, and I surrender, surrender body mind to the love, to the beauty, to the infinity. You see, it's not about improving the body mind, because the body mind is a mechanism that operates, in a mechanistic system, in a certain world of forms and objects, and it does what it does. But what we are is way beyond this particular phenomenal appearance, because we are that to which this appearance appears, but we're untouched by it. We're completely untouched by it. And that's what's so beautiful, is that whatever occurs in the world body mind is a dream event. Absolutely, because you see, the quality of consciousness is joy. It's beauty, love, joy, happiness, freedom. It's like the quality of water is to flow downstream. It's like that. It's inevitable. The inevitable quality of consciousness is to celebrate and to love. And we all love love. We all love to love and to be loved, and to express the love and to share the love. So it's not something that somebody needs to teach us. It's, in a way, it's already built in. It's a quality of consciousness. Use those terms. So yeah. The 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 celebration of the celebration of the our true nature is it's our gift. It's a gift given to us by consciousness. And so in this waking dream, we celebrate, and celebration is always happy. It's always it's not just about me. It loves everybody to win. It loves everybody to be around the feast, around the table. Not just me getting the best part. That's not a celebration. Yeah.
Sounds like a chipmunk again.
So if there is anybody who has a question, anything that you want to explore. Hello, Gigi. So if you have any question, you can pose a question by writing it in the chat group. There is a chat box, or you could just speak it or raise your hand. Anatta, can you hear me, Anatta? Okay. I have a feeling that the chipmunk is in Anatta's attic. Yes, yes, Ananda. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I hear you now. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm 64 years old. That's my age, the age of this body. And let me see. I in the 70s, 70, I don't know, 1974 or so, 73, 74. There was an insight, unexpected. I was a student at the university, and there was an unexpected insight into something I never had dreamt of, which is basically the reality and eternity of consciousness. And this glimpse was a major glimpse, and it led me to years of Zen meditation. I joined the Sharon Springs Zen Center, the Rochester Zen Center, then the Springwater. I worked with Tony Packer, and just over the past 5 years or so, I met Francis Lucille, who is an Advaita teacher. Yes, Francis. And with him, it was a final settling of I don't know. Does that answer your question? Yeah, sure, of course. Not a problem. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really fascinating because until I met Francis, uh, I had not even heard about this what I refer to as the complete dissolution of the world, body, mind into the self. In my years, there were many experiences, awakening experiences, and kenshos and so on, and some very, very profound ones. But still, there was I had no idea how far the teaching went. I thought that the teaching sort of was, ended at the awakening stage. But the awakening stage is just the beginning of the path. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey, and I always encourage people to rather than just focus on the end game, to celebrate the the journey itself, and to just enjoy. I mean, look at us here, just sitting and sharing and sitting around the fire of truth, around the light of consciousness. Is There is a beauty about that. I mean, we've never met, and yet we are the love, and it's so apparent that we are all this one love. It's so beautiful, and there are like so many angels that appear along the path, that in ways, even unintentional ways, they sort of clarify the path for us. It's very lovely. So yes, I am in very deep gratitude to Francis. I consider him as my teacher and as my very, very dear friend. I'm very, very grateful to him. I'm sorry, repeat that. Yes, yes. Oh yes. Oh yes, 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 yes. He loves to play the flute. Yeah, every Thursday during the retreats, he plays the flute, or Friday night too. It's very beautiful to hear, to listen to him. Yes, I visit him 2, 3 times a year. Tara, my wife, is a dear friend of Francis too, and we go together. Actually, she was living in Temecula with near Francis for a few years, so we go together to visit him, and his lovely wife Laura. And there's a beautiful community in Temecula around Francis. We have a lot of dear friends out there. Yeah. Yeah, there are people who come and meet with us here every Saturday.
Yeah, I go. I love it. Every Saturday.
Yes, yes, absolutely, 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 absolutely. And to really trust the path of happiness. I mean, I know, like, that there is the whole me thing is around fear and oh my God, what's going to happen to me? But to trust the path of happiness, and the more you walk the path of openness and love and happiness, the more it proves to you that that's the right path. And everything in your life becomes easier and simpler, and there's all sorts of serendipitous events that happen in your life that's sort of you go, wow, look what happened. It's so lovely to really trust the self, and live according to the universal quality of the self. uh, Life, the dream life, is not separate from consciousness. It is made out of consciousness. And when you're celebrating consciousness, the whole waking dream celebrates, and not just the waking dream, also your night dream. Hmm. Yes, yes, Yes. Yes. Well, Ananda, like as I was sharing with Lee, as you are going to as you are going to sleep, and you're lying in bed, take turn your attention to this moment, as like, make this moment really, really precious, and habitually do that also in your waking state, to sort of recollect consciousness, which is right there, the presence, and to sort of notice the dissolution of the body and the mind in consciousness, in the space. Notice that there is. It's very lovely once you start noticing it. In the same thing when in the waking up state, when you're waking up in the morning, noticing the sense of maybe your arm, or the sheet, that's starting to arise, and go to that sensation and notice that sensation, there is no arm. It seems like there is an arm, there is a sensation of an arm and a sensation of a hand, but you go to that sensation, you find no hand, no arm. It's amazing. It's really, and that's basically you're finding consciousness. You go to the hand and you find there is no hand. It's like sometimes it's really interesting. The other day I had my hand down uh, on well, I had my hand on a friend's lap, and I had my eyes closed, and I was sort of experiencing this sensation of my hand on my friend's lap, and then I realized, oh no, my hand is on my lap. And actually it was, my hand was on my lap, but it's, yeah, right. Like the mind operates in objects. It's like, oh well, this is the table, this is the chair, but the the reality of our experience is consciousness. It's all consciousness. So once you start to, as you're waking up in the morning, you notice the experiences that are starting to arise, and just slow them down and go to them. Go to that. If it's a thought, go to that thought. Not just follow the thought. No, go, like, travel to the thought, to see what is the thought, not what is the content of the thought, but what is the thought itself. And you will find consciousness. You will find like nothing. You will find this infinite presence. And as you do that, you will find that it will start to permeate your night dream, your dream state. Experiment with it and see, how. That's, I'm just sharing my experience. And of course, in the waking state, like this very moment, you can contemplate that this perception is arising, is arising in an openness. In a way, you could say like the screen has a border. Okay, this is, but I mean the computer screen, but the perception itself has no edges to it. So there is an image. Yes, there is an image. There is a sound. Yeah, but it's arising in the openness. So you find, oh, well, interesting. Like, like my hand right now is moving, and I'm perceiving my hand, but this perception is arising in a borderless presence, and it's really magnificent that this seeming form is arising in a formless space. You see? And when you go to the sensation, you go to the sensation of my fingers, I go to the sensation, I find that the sensation itself is hard to pin down. It's in itself, it's nowhere locatable. It's not like the mind sort of locates it. Oh yeah, the finger, the thumb, but in your experience, you will start to notice that it's a non-local non-local presence that's just this untouched, unscathed, unspoiled, unsoiled by any perception, any sensation, any thought, like the clouds in the sky. And so you will find even in your waking state there is a functioning. You're still functioning. You're relating, but you're relating out of this openness. And as you're relating out of the openness, you're inviting the other, to to be in that space, to be in that openness, and to also sort of, relax in that openness. Whether they do or not, who knows? But there's that invitation that's arising out of not out of any intention, but out of your simple awareness, your simple noticing of that borderless presence. And so just to turn your attention to that, not just to the perception, but to the borderless presence. That yes, 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 right, yes. So you can refer. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It's very nice. So in a way, experiencing, you could refer to experiencing as consciousness. Uh, yeah, it's a nice way of looking at it. Yes. Yeah, yeah. It's a nice sharing. It's a nice sharing. You're welcome. You're always welcome. You're welcome. We have a lot of friends here. You're welcome. So if anybody has anything they want to explore, share, or any questions. Oh yes, I just wanted to mention to our friends that I will be in Costa Rica next, goodness, I believe the 18th. Uh, what is it, Tara? Friday. Oh, Friday. Yes, Friday. Yes. Um, Gonzalo. Um, Hello, Gonzalo, has arranged for me to visit with some friends and have some satsang and a couple of day retreat out there. Just mentioning that. It is going to be in Costa Rica. Uh, Gonzalo, are you? Can you hear me? Let me see if Gonzalo. Because maybe Gonzalo can say something about it. He would know. He knows. Hello, Gonzalo. I cannot hear you. Let me see if. Uh, his mic is on, but I cannot hear him. I cannot hear you, Gonzalo. I see you, but I cannot hear you. Maybe you can write in the chat box, if you have access to the chat box. Oh, okay. Yes, yes, Gonzalo. Maybe it's the speaker on your computer, because I see that your speaker is on for the Hangout. Anyways. So if there are any questions. Well, Gonzalo just wrote me a note. We are happy about, yeah, we're all happy about getting together in Costa Rica. It's really nice. Manish is asking, would you please tell us about deep sleep? How do we know we still have awareness in deep sleep? Awareness in deep sleep. So there are like 3 states. There is the waking state, which is this state right now that we refer to as the waking state. There is the dream state. We go to sleep and there is the dream, meaning the mind's still going on, and the deep sleep state. So how do we know there is awareness in deep sleep? Well, Manish, how do you know there is awareness right now? The way you know awareness is not via thought, because thought is a form, is an object. Whether it's a thought of an elephant or a thought of an ant, a thought of galaxies or a thought of a table, it's still an object, a limited form. So you cannot know consciousness via thought, nor via perception, nor can you sense consciousness. You can sense sensory bodily sensations. You can sense your feet, your legs, your hunger, a headache, but you cannot sense consciousness. So via the mind, meaning via thought, perceptions, and sensations, that's not the way you know consciousness. But you know right now that you are conscious. How do you know that you are conscious? You don't know that you are conscious because you think you are conscious. You don't know that you are conscious because you believe you are conscious. And you say that you know you are conscious because you are aware of your surrounding. No. No. Because you could be unaware of your surroundings and still know that you are conscious. Because you don't know that you are conscious via the mind. You know that you are conscious directly. You know you are conscious not because of your surroundings. You know you are conscious because you are consciousness. So if you know that you are conscious because you are consciousness, it does not matter if the body-mind is in the waking state, in the dream state, or the deep sleep state, because it has nothing to do with any state. In other words, you do not know that you are conscious in a state. You know that you are conscious in spite of the state. So the question about how do I know that I am conscious in deep sleep, or that there is consciousness in deep sleep, is a question that assumes that consciousness relates to a state. You see, consciousness is complete freedom. It does not matter what is the state of the body-mind. It does not matter if the body-mind is in an awake state, a dreaming state, a deep sleep state, or a dead state. Because consciousness does not belong to the body-mind. Consciousness belongs to consciousness. The body-mind belongs to consciousness. Because without consciousness, how would you perceive bodily sensation? You could not perceive any emotion or any feeling or any perception without consciousness. So thoughts, sensations, perceptions, feelings, emotions depend on consciousness. But consciousness does not depend on a body-mind experience. So just ask yourself, how do I know that I'm conscious? But you have to stay with that question and not contemplate that your knowledge that you are consciousness is not a borrowed knowledge. It's a direct revelation from consciousness to consciousness. Consciousness knows that it's conscious. That is the only true knowledge. There is no other knowledge. The only knowledge is the knowledge of consciousness knowing itself. Everything else is a celebration of that revelation. Until you arrive to that revelation, you're still looking for consciousness. But you're looking in the wrong places. You're going into the deep sleep state looking. You're going into the waking state looking. You cannot find consciousness via the mind. The mind appears in consciousness as an experience. So you know you are conscious. Nobody can take that knowledge away from you, because you as consciousness already know yourself. You just are tippy-toeing around recognizing your knowingness of yourself. You are delaying, you are postponing your recognition of yourself. You already know yourself as yourself. But you are choosing to ignore this knowingness. But you are on your way. You turned around, and you have an interest. So contemplate that only consciousness knows that it's conscious. A person cannot know consciousness because a person is dreamt by consciousness. a person, meaning thoughts, perceptions, and sensations, appears in consciousness. And yet, you know that you are conscious. How could it be that believing that you are a person, you still know that you are consciousness, that you are conscious, meaning that you are consciousness? How could it be? It's because you are not a person. You are already consciousness. And that is why you know that you are conscious. It's not the person who knows that. It is you as consciousness that knows that. Thank you for your question, Manish.
Hi, Magdi. Thanks for putting this on.
Hello. Is it Gigi, yes?
Gigi, yes.
Yes. Okay. One moment. I think I need to do something about echo. An echo.
Hmm.
One moment. Okay. Well, there's still an echo.
I'm gonna put my headset on.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay.
Thank you.
When I had a deep waking up experience and feeling this incredible joy that you speak of, this incredible peace, and feeling like all is well, and that feeling of all is well almost like seeping through every cell in my body, that there was no doubt that all is well, right? And then my mind came and said, well, maybe this is just a great philosophy, because if you can allow every thought to come and every feeling to come, and you can watch that, then immediately you will feel this sense of well-being and this sense of peace.
Mm-hmm.
And what saved me from that thought that it wasn't a philosophy was exactly what you're saying. The question came that said, can thought be aware of awareness? And it's just immediately obvious that it's not. That awareness can only be aware of thought, but thought cannot be aware of awareness.
Right.
And I have a question then that comes from there. Comes from seeing this non-locality of consciousness, that there is no local point in consciousness. But then what I still don't have a really great feel for is, for example, a story like Rupert said when he's sitting with Francis, and there's a dog that barks across the valley, and you can tell that the dog is a few miles away, and Rupert could hear the echo of the dog through the valley. And something, I don't know the direct conversation, but something where Francis says to him, where is that sound coming from? Something like that. And Rupert says, from across the valley. And Francis says, no. Something where that sound is not separate.
Right.
And Rupert says, but no, it obviously is separate. I could hear that it's not a dog that's right next to me, that it's a dog that's miles away, and that's obvious. And something, I don't remember what Francis's answer was, maybe because I didn't understand it, so I couldn't remember it. But even through my understanding and through my own felt awakening to the non-locality of consciousness and the unity of consciousness, it's still so evident to me that that sound is coming from miles away, you know? There's still a sense of, yes, all is one. So there's a sense of both, all is one, but still, yes, that dog is 3 miles away barking from across the valley. So
Yes.
How do I understand that deeper, and how do I experiment with that throughout my days to get a better understanding?
Right. Well, the impression of distance is not a problem. In a way, it's fun. It's fun to see a mountain, in the distance, and to sort of, travel to it, let's say, and then it gets, closer, and then you start climbing the mountain, and then you're on top of the mountain. Now there is no distance between you and the mountain. So the impression of distance is not a problem. It's in a way, it is fun. Actually, there are people who run distance. They run 200 meters, they run the 400-meter, or they run 6 mile or the marathon. You see, they run a distance. There is a relationship of the body mind with the distance, and so we're trying to get to the finish line, and it's quite amusing, especially when your body is well trained to do that. So the impression of distance, also like in driving, you feel that you're getting close to the ocean, or you're getting close to a light, you slow down. So there is that impression of distance that the body mind is familiar with, and sort of plays with and relates to it in a way that things work, work, it's a fun play, it's amusing, but the problem is the impression that I am here, and that the world is out there, outside of me. You see, that's a different thing, because there can be, in your night dream, for example, you could dream that you're traveling over, the ocean for 4 or 5 days, and then you arrive to Amsterdam, and you travel in downtown Amsterdam, you go visit a friend, and so on. There is the impression of distance and traveling, but it's happening within you. Yeah, so it's not a problem. It's happening within you. So in a way, the impression of distance, as it's happening within you, and you're maneuvering with it, is not a problem. It is when there is a distance that sort of keeps me apart from the quotes unquote the dog that's barking 100 feet away or 200 yards away. So I wouldn't worry so much about having the dog be here. What I would contemplate is, which we're doing now, is what is the angst? What is the real angst? Is the angst that the dog, I hear the dog over there, and I'm not hearing the dog over here? Is that, maybe that is the angst? I don't know. It's for you to really find out what is your real question. What is your real question? Not just what you heard Francis or Rupert. Those are really beautiful people, guides and teachers, what they've said. But what is your question? So, and what is it? What is your angst, if any? I'm not saying that you have an angst, but what is it that's gnawing at you? What is it that's sort of working at you?
I'm just wondering, maybe is there something still missing from my understanding? Because like you said, the dog doesn't have to be right here, right?
Yes,
That this relativity is still beautiful, and it's exactly why we're here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I guess yeah.
Yes.
It's just like, is there something that I'm missing?
Yes. Well, You know, whenever I'm just saying that, but you can contemplate that in your own space, see if that applies. Whenever we imagine ourselves to be a person, to be this mortal person, the party is slightly spoiled. You know, there's something that's just not sitting right. And whenever we forget that we are a person, meaning whenever we are in our natural state, like here right now, I mean, I'm not thinking you are this and I am that. There is nothing missing. You know, it's like there is a natural happiness. It's a natural flow, tranquility, beingness, whatever you call it. But what happens in due to our belief structure that we've inherited is that we go back and forth. We keep going back to, I am this woman, I am this man, I am this sister, this mother, this brother, this partner. We keep coming back to that. And whenever we go to that with believing it, because I go to, okay, I'm a man and my name is Magdi, etc. But I accept it as this shirt, as something that I put on. You know, I recognize that it's not truly what I am. But I have no problem telling you that, yes, I'm Magdi, I'm 64 years old, etc. Whatever you want to know about this person. Because I know that is sort of a mind quality that is part of this experience, that is therefore for celebration, for enjoyment, for love, for beauty, for expression, for sharing, for exploring, but it's not truly what I am. I know that I am the aware presence, the awareness that hears these words. I am the very awareness that is right now hearing these words, not just speaking them, that's hearing them. So I am thou. You know that in the Christianity, that you, what you refer to yourself as I, is the same I that is referred to as one I, which is the I of consciousness. So, but whenever we forget that and we go to I am this person, there is fear. There is fear of death, fear of what's happening to me, what's going to happen to me tomorrow. Am I going to get this relationship? Am I going to get this job? What's going to happen to my family, to my house? What if the economy collapses? What happened to my savings? It's endless. It's all unhappy. Gigi, it's all unhappy. Yes. So why engage or entertain, or why say yes to any of that unhappiness? So it's a habit. But in the contemplation, we realize that we are consciousness, and that this consciousness is not contained in a body. The bodily sensations appear in consciousness, like the dog close here, or the dog 100 yards away, appears in consciousness, meaning in me, in the vastness that I am. You see?
Yeah, that part I get.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like saying there's no, but being okay also then with perceiving the relativity of everything also.
Yeah, yes, of course.
It just gets confusing sometimes with all of that talk.
No, the body mind is very well wired. The brain is very intricate and is all equipped to understand the relative realm, the meaning of the waking dream, and to operate. When we come to red light, we know when to stop. When there is hunger, we know where to go, what to cook, and when we need a companionship, we know who to call. It's all. We don't have to worry so much about it, which we don't. And when we are sort of, when we're trusting the world, body, mind to operate out of whoever designed it, out of the grand design, there is a relaxation. It's a natural relaxation. We're not worried so much. And we know that in time this body will die, but there is no worry about that. It's part of the because we, in a way, we recognize that this dream is created by the dreamer, like you in the night in your night dream. Whatever dreams arise for you are created by you, the dreamer. And they dissolve. You wake up in the morning, the beautiful horse that you were riding in your dream is not there. It's gone. No big deal. You see, no big deal, because you as consciousness are eternal. I'm just using the metaphor of the dream. I don't mean the body. The consciousness. You as consciousness is eternal. And you can recognize that in this very moment, as you are right now perceiving this perception. Yes, Gigi? You are this open space. You're not a woman or a man or a mother or a daughter or so many pounds, so many feet tall. No, it's just this open presence, this open, aware, intelligent presence, effortlessly so. It's already so. And the dance of the cells that are dancing, the molecules and the atoms that are dancing, that are making this bodily sensation, this perception, this thought, they're just dancing in the openness that you are. You remain, no matter what the dance appears, you remain that openness. You see? You see?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That for me is easy to grasp. It's like I said, it's like when they get into all of this complicated talk of you're not perceiving anything far away from you. Everything isn't, and like all of that talk, the senses, and sometimes it just gets to be a lot of talk and a very confusing. But yes, and
yeah. Well, you see, not everybody's question is your question, you see. Maybe somebody's sharing their question, and in a way it had an impact on them, but if something is complicated, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, honestly, I could care less.
Right.
I could care less if that sound is over there or in here, or if I'm really seeing something outside of me, or is it all? If it's all inside of me, I could literally feel that everything is inside of me. Yes. Yes, I know this.
Right.
But is the dog 3 miles away? Yeah, the dog is still 3 miles away.
Yeah, I mean, in a relative sense, the distance, the locality and so on, is useful. It's very useful. But I think what's important to contemplate is that everything that you experience, even a thought of your grandmother, or your great-great-grandmother, is an experience that arises in consciousness, and that this consciousness is what you are. In other words, it arises like smoke arises out of the fire, and then it takes the shape of an angel, it takes the shape of an elephant, it takes the shape of a mouse, it takes the shape of a mountain, it takes the shape of a tree. It arises, all experiences, whatever you experience, rises out of consciousness and is made out of consciousness. So in that sense, a dog that's 3 miles away or 300,000 miles away, that appears to you as maybe a sensation, maybe you're hearing as a sensation, or as a thought, maybe you're thinking of a dog that you owned when you were 2 years old, or whatever. That arises right here, right now, and is in right now, meaning in the eternity of consciousness. I don't mean in a moment in time. I mean in the eternity of consciousness. And that's what's beautiful is the realization that what I am is this eternity, and dreaming this dream, dreaming a dream of a dog barking 20 miles away. But this dream, where is this dream? Where is it? Is it 20 miles? Where is 20 miles away? I mean, in a way, 20 miles away is important when I have to drive and I have to be there at 8 o'clock. I better leave now because of how fast I can drive on the highway. So in a relative sense, that's not a brainer. But at the experiential level, I never take a step. I never take a step because consciousness does not walk. Bodies walk. Consciousness is eternal presence. Okay, so bodies walk, meaning it's a bodily sensation that arises. You see, it's a bodily sensation that arises in consciousness. So, if a certain teaching calls you and resonates for you, you're drawn to it. You don't need to. You don't need to necessarily get into too much thinking. At the same time, if there is something that puzzles you, you find yourself naturally drawn to contemplate it. Anyways, thank you for your question. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Well, so it's 7:30. I want to thank you for your beautiful, beautiful company. It's very lovely to be together, and hope to see you soon. We'll schedule another hangout in a few.
Thank you, Magdi.
Much love to you all. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Okay. See you soon. Okay. Goodbye. Nice to meet you, Ananda. Bye-bye.